We got a developing story coming out of Boulder, Colorado. Is Deion Sanders set to announce his new defensive coordinator? But first, when you come across this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you'll know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. And if it's your first time coming across the platform and you're new to my channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, post your comments, share the video out, and make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Well, let's get right off into it. Well, there's rumors out there speculating that Deion Sanders is about to announce his defensive coordinator to replace Charles Kelly for the Colorado Buffaloes. Over the recent days and the weeks, there's been speculations out there. There's been reports that Deion has nullified it down to 3 candidates. And like he stated on FS1 Undisputed, he wants it to be an NFL guy. So there's rumors out there of Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. Now there's reports of Eric Bieniemy, the former offensive coordinator for the Washington Redskins or the Washington Commanders, or however you want to address them. Then there's speculations that Mike Zimmer might be the defensive coordinator. Deion Sanders has addressed his issues offensively with the offensive coordinator, with Pat Shurmur, replacing Sean Lewis. Pat Shurmur is a great offensive coordinator. I've known him from the Minnesota Viking days. Also, when you're talking about a defensive coordinator and the speculations are swirling around Mike Zimmer, he's an NFL guy. Mike Zimmer, he was getting some interviews from NFL teams to become a defensive coordinator. And you remember Deion said it's going to be an NFL guy, but he had to wait for all the interviews to play out. Now, we already know the history that Deion Sanders has with Mike Zimmer. They're real close friends. Like Deion says, he loves him to death. We know what Mike Zimmer can bring to the table from his days in Minnesota. When Minnesota had that elite defense, Mike Zimmer constructed that defense. Also, Mike Zimmer, became a head coach. Mike Zimmer had days in Cincinnati. So Deion and Mike Zimmer, they have history. They have a history of working together. Now, that would be a major move and a major get for the Colorado Buffaloes to bring in a guy like a Mike Zimmer that is NFL knowledge, has had success in the NFL at the higher level. If Deion brings him in, that'd be a major goal for the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, Deion has brought in Phil Ledhold to be the offensive line coach. Phil Ledhold was an ex-Minnesota Vikings. So Deion Sanders has a lot of ties with Minnesota Vikings players and front office personnel and coaches. So if Mike Zimmer would get that head coaching defensive coordinator position, that would be right up Deion Sanders' alley. And that he would address the defensive side of the ball because of all the major pieces that he has brought in. And then you compare him with Mike Zimmer, with the success that Mike Zimmer has had in his NFL days and his tenure in the NFL. Oh, that'd be a certified go. Now, also, I don't know what's going on with this leaked text message thing that has been surfacing around the internet. A lot of people said that the announcement for the defensive coordinator will come tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But there's a leaked message that Deion Sanders, I guess, and his team put out there. Like, Deion he's a marketing genius. That's the prime time effect. And this is one of them genius moves because everybody been waiting for Deion Sanders to announce the defensive coordinator position. Everybody is waiting on that. But from sources I've talked to, that text message wasn't about a defensive coordinator. This text message basically was about some things in the works with the Colorado Buffaloes uniforms and their equipment. So let's take a look at the text message that's been floating around that everybody's been talking about that has some insinuations of Deion Sanders knowing who his defensive coordinator is going to be, and that announcement is going to come tomorrow. Let's take a look at this text message. So you guys see in the text message, it said, "This is great. Huge improvement. Agreed. I'm glad we switched that up. What a difference that made. We got a lot more where that came from. You're going to love everything we got to offer. This has been months in the making. It don't stop. I'm excited. When do you want to announce this? I've been ready. Wednesday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Let's do this thing." So you guys see from the text message, you can read into the text message any way you want to read into it. You can slice it and dice it any way that you want. But basically, when it says we got a lot more where that came from, you're going to love everything we got to offer, that was the person responding to Deion. So that really states that they could be talking about the uniforms, because if you know, Deion and them put out a video from Well Off Media that showed some brand new cleats that Colorado Buffaloes is going to display this year, and they had like 4 or 5 different pairs. So with that being said, Deion gets uniforms to match what goes along with them cleats. Now, you guys remember last year, Colorado donned a lot of different uniforms, and that was the prom effect. So like Deion always says, you look good, you feel good, you play good. So that's one of his mantras. You look good, you feel good, you play good. So that text message does not insinuate that he's going to announce a defensive coordinator. That's the way I'm reading it, and that's the way a lot of people are taking it. From the sources that I've talked to close to the situation, that's pertaining some equipment. So we got to put that rumor to rest about that text message, floating around, that it's possibly, leaning toward Deion knowing his defensive coordinator, and he's just, got everybody waiting for him to announce it. But that's another genius move by Deion Sanders, man. Coach Prime has been doing some major things in the transfer portal, like I stated. He's addressed everything on the offensive side of the ball that he's needed. Bolstered up the offensive line. Like I said, I always say the big fish in Jordan Seaton. And on the defensive side of the ball, BJ Green, Samuel Kolu, and guys like that. The secondary, Cormani McLean has ramped it up in the offseason, getting his training in under the tutelage of Travis Hunter. Now, recently Travis Hunter just announced, his engagement to his long-term girlfriend. A lot of people have some issues about that. Is Travis going to be focused? What is Deion letting Travis do? We trying to kill them rumors. But as far as the defensive coordinator, I think Deion might have his guy. He's just waiting for the right time to announce it. Now, Deion he's calculated when it comes to them things, and he got everybody waiting and everybody talking about it. And that's a major story. That's a major story going on in Boulder, Colorado, because at first the major story was the transfer portal and the guys that Deion is getting out of this transfer portal, the guys that he's getting to commit to Colorado. You got the siblings on the roster, the Mathises, you got the Sanders, in the Wades. So it's a thing. It's a family affair in Colorado, but we're all waiting for Deion to announce that defensive coordinator position. Sources I've talked to, Mike Zimmer might be the guy. Mike Zimmer might be that guy that's replacing Charles Kelly as the defensive coordinator. We just have to wait and see. But as far as that text message thread, don't read too much into that. But where there is smoke, there is fire. So a lot of people have been covering that, because of the text message that was leaked. But in this situation, I think that was dealing with some equipment. But Deion got a lot of people, sitting there waiting for him to make that major announcement, man. But like he said, he's took it down to 3 candidates. And I think Mike Zimmer's name is rising to the top. So we're going to stay tuned and wait for that announcement. And as soon as that announcement as soon as that news breaks, Simply Ball Dropping to bring it right to you here on the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. So you guys come down in the comment sections. Let me know what you think and who you think the next defensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes should be, and who do you guys want. Make sure you share this video out. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate everybody that's supporting the channel, and I couldn't do it without you guys. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Droppin' podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.